Hi everybody. I know I am a little bit late today. My internet is acting up. Experiences of Guruji. Hey everybody, whoever is joining in, join. Hi Vanita. I am going to. Hi Rags. Hi Krishna ji, namaste. I am sorry that I am like 2 minutes late. I'm moving today and my house is fully empty and I have one little stool to sit on. So I am just figuring this out, and it's a crazy day. My family thinks I'm crazy to still have this live, but I said I needed more than any day to hear Guruji's words and voice. And it was important for me, even though the movers are outside packing and they're almost done. So we are. Hi Nidu. What we're going to do today is we're going to cut the session down 15 minutes and we're going to keep it to 45 minutes. Hi Shakes, thank you. I'm not moving too far, but I am moving. So it's not too far, but a move is a move is a move. So that's what I'm doing. And then, of course, we will pick up next week. Next week, I'm not going to be doing Wednesday because Wednesday, I had a commitment before. Hi, Shakes. I had a commitment before with Richie, the breath guy. And Richie he has an app and he's really made breath, the concept of breath and all of that really big in the West. Okay, let's see. Hi, Sukanya. Guruji is here. Hmm. Namaste, Guruji. Pranam, Guruji.
Hi, Pranam. Namaste. How are you?
I'm okay, Guruji. This has been a little funny week for me this week, but I'm hanging in here. I'm trying to remember your wise words of wisdom.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been one of those weeks which has been a little bit challenging.
Can you hear me? Sound is okay?
It's perfectly okay, Guruji. It's perfectly okay. Sound is
Okay.
great.
I think your sound is slightly breaking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, is it breaking for anybody else? Is my sound breaking? I mean, I can just easily go inside if that's the case, if the sound breaks.
Now
Oh, now
it's
then.
now it's okay.
Okay, okay, great, Guruji. I mean, I can just step inside if the sound breaks, which won't be a big deal. I'm just going to open a door, Guruji. I have a door here. I'll open it so that it'll be better.
Fine.
I think this should be better now.
Yeah, now it's fine. Yes.
Okay, okay, Guruji. So, Guruji, before we begin, can we tell you a little bit about the breath experience, my breath experience? Can we talk about that?
Please.
So I have been practicing and regularly, religiously. I started with the stretches that Krishnaji taught me. Krishnaji taught me some stretches and Nari Shodhan, and then I've been doing the Kumbhak. Breath retention is tricky, and I also start trembling. So, which happens to me, Guruji, even in my meditation sometimes, that the body starts vibrating a little bit. It doesn't
Yeah.
bother me, it doesn't disturb me, but it's just
Mm.
interesting to note.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what happens, and you know, it definitely feels like I'm tapping into something deeper, but
Yes.
it still has to, it still has to manifest fully. What that deeper is, because I'm with Kumbhak with this high level of Kumbhak. It's very new for me. I used to do Kumbhak, but much shorter, 16 counts.
When we count 16 or we fix a number and keep counting, we are not meditating.
Mm-hmm.
We are simply engaging the mind to count. It's
That's
only a
true.
mental exercise. It's not meditation.
True. So what
Yes.
should we do, Guruji?
Keep holding and create a situation like death.
Like?
See, death. See, any emergency comes. we have a potential, we have a possibility within, which is called autonomous nervous system. So people should be aware of that. That is the real source of everything. Suppose we encounter with a danger. Maybe a mad dog, huge dog is rushing towards you. And you know that you are going to be, made into pieces. But when you face that situation, you will come to know your life, your existence is at risk. That time, your intellect will stop functioning. Then the autonomous nervous system will be active. That will produce many changes or make many changes in the system. And you will experience a different personality. You may fight back or you will run away from that situation. So what is happening that time? Actually, our hidden potential is being explored. But the problem, when we face that situation in a natural way, our consciousness will not be in action. The autonomous nervous system will be active. That will see only the situation. That time your personality is completely wiped off. But when we create that situation through sadhana, we hold the breath and we will, it's like camouflage. We inform the mind that so you are going to die. So body get panicked. The autonomous nervous system will be activated. But the difference is we are fully conscious what's happening in. That is what is called Sakshi Rupena Darshanam. So you created a situation. You brought an imaginary tiger and you are going to be killed. So you are not getting breath. Then body said, no, I have to survive. So that system is monitored by your consciousness. That is what is called meditation. When we recognize, we will come to know how powerful we are, how our emotions are being developed, how our existence is defined. So everything is revealed to us one by one. That is why it is called revelation. Nobody is teaching us. It is being revealed one by one. So the Creator himself, the omnipotence is there. Omnipotence is Sarva Shakti. The God is omnipotent and omnipresent and omniscient. Sarva Shakta, Sarva Vyapi and Sarvam Saha.
So omnipotent, omnipresent and
omniscient. Saha.
Omniscient, yeah, omniscient. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So these three, attributes are usually given to God. But when we understand the reality of our existence, who we are, that is the question Ramana Maharshi asked, who am I? Yes, we will keep searching to find the depth of our existence and you will come to know Aham Brahmasmi. Yes, the reality, myself is the cosmic reality. Cosmic reality is omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent. So these three attributes will come to us. Then who we are, we will declare Aham Brahmasmi. Then you will ask, oh Guruji, if you are Brahma, then who am I? Yes, Nidhi, Tatumasi, you too are that. Actually, this is what is being revealed from within.
Guruji, that is such a great explanation to why we do Kumbhak. I'm a big believer of teaching people how to operate in fight or flight mode. But we try so many different techniques, but this is so brilliant that with your consciousness active, you take your body into fight or flight mode and you experience that emergency with a higher consciousness.
Yes.
And once we master doing that regularly, then the game of life will become so easy because the reason why we all experience all this discomfort is because the fight or flight mode kicks in. But now, if you become a master at experiencing fight and flight with higher consciousness, wow! Everybody
See,
who's listening, this minute, it's like you may make a promise to ourselves to practice this regularly.
see, this is like a very simple logic. It is like a cause and effect theory. See, if I am bitten by a dog, mad dog, I may get a rabies virus. So actually what is the vaccination is doing? Before the real rabies virus develop in my system, minimize the energy. Virus will be injected directly into the blood through the nervous system. So body get alarmed. Body immediately encountered an emergency. Hey, what's going on? Some cause is there. So we have to be in action. The effect should be created. Then the body's immune system immediately be enhanced, and body will start producing antibodies for the virus. So when the real virus got power and it started affecting the system, 1 million virus are coming and 10 million our antibodies are fighting back. So who is the winner? This is how we overcome the rabies. Same way, we threaten the system. We irritate or stimulate the system by producing certain situations. That is what is called asana, pranayama, kriya, bandha. All these things are threatening the system, making an emergency situation. Then observe how body reacts. There we will come to know the problems which we are facing and crying. This will become insignificant. If you know how to stop the wind, then why do you bother about a small wave?
So you're creating your own mental vaccination. It's like a mental vaccination, mental immunity building by exposing our body to it in that kind of a dosage, allowing your body's immunity, mental immunity to kick in.
Not even mental immunity. Actually, we are vaccinating against the fear of death.
We are vaccinating against the Guruji, I cannot imagine the wisdom I cannot imagine receiving this wisdom in this life from your mouth. I really cannot imagine that, how lucky I must be. And it also makes us feel so responsible to conduct our lives a certain way if we've heard these words.
This is not my word. All Upanishads are declaring this. Kadho Upanishad, Nachiketas made a trip to Yamaloka in search of Yamadharma. So the god of death was running away from that poor boy. Everybody is scared of death. When death comes, people are nervous. But Nachiketa said, if there is death, I should find who he is. So he traveled in search of death. So that god of death was running away from him. But finally, the boy Nachiketas caught him and made him answer his questions. It is clearly said, Om Ityed Aksharamidam Sarvam. Everything is a cosmic sound, Nada Brahma. Taittiriya Upanishad and Shvedashvatara Upanishad went little bit more. It declared that without any pause. Shrunandu Vishwe Amradasya Putra. Hey children, why are you crying? Why are you nervous? Even deathlessness is within you. See, now quantum physics is saying this. There is a possibility of ageless body. What is it? Slowly, modern science is going back to our ancient wisdom. Yes. And it is going to be available for everybody, but in a different blend. So here, all yoga practitioners must be aware about the potential and possibilities and experience and be a model for others. Let the coming generation follow our path.
That was really important message today, Guruji. Very, very important message. Each day you take us deeper And you said it's not even vaccination against situations, it's vaccination against the fear of death, which is the ultimate fear in life.
Yes.
And once you're vaccinated against it, then life becomes so easy.
Yes, life will become a festival. This is why usually I say it's an utsav, Atma Utsav. So life is like a festival. So we can enjoy the life.
Wow. Okay, now Guruji, with that, I feel like I have endless questions to ask you. But today we want to, today we have to cut short by 15 minutes, Guruji. But we want to ask you about your own personal journey, Guruji. Tell us about your journey, because there has to be some story behind such wisdom.
It's a long story. You ask specific questions, I can give that.
Okay. So Guruji, what got you interested in exploring the Vedas and these sciences? And when did that begin for you?
Actually, I became serious in search for myself in my age of 24. Up to that moment, I was not keen on any one of these things. Because from my childhood, I was a little bit hyperactive boy. So I used to make a lot of complaints in the school. So my father had headaches, listening my complaints from the parents and teachers. So he recognized my hyperactivity. So he put me into a traditional gymnasium, which we call Kalari, where this sword and shield fightings are taught. So I was a good fighter there because I had enough choices to fight, give and take. Then when I reached to my high school level and college level, I was fascinated with karate. So I went for that. I became the first black belt holder in my college.
Wow, Guruji.
So I used to, but I was like a warrior. I wanted to know what is beyond my limit. That was my style. Yes. When I
challenge yourself. To challenge yourself constantly.
Okay. Yes. When I went to my gymnasium also, when I did the bench press, if I do 75 kilo today, tomorrow I'll try 76. So I used to think how far I can go like that. But one day I came to know there is an end. Body is limited. So in search of that, I went for karate, boxing, bodybuilding, then Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi. I was the best dancer in my college.
Guruji, wow.
Again, questions. See, in Kalaripayattu, we have two schools, Northern style and Southern style. And Northern style was introduced to us by the great sage Parashurama Maharshi. That is Northern style. Southern style from Agastya Muni, two legends. So I got confused. Why this, fully renounced masters got engaged into these fights and killing people? I asked my master, why this fully renounced masters came back for these fights? There was no answer. Then both styles has this 18 basic steps. Then diversions also there, branches. When I went to Shabarimala temple, Lord Ayyappa's temple, very famous temple in South India, there also I found 18 steps. Then when I started listening this Mahabharata, Ramayana stories from my father, Ramayana war between Kaurava and Pandava carried out 18 days. Rama and Ravana, war was for 18 days. Then I went for this Purana. It is for 18 Puranas basically. Then Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters. The armies which involved in the Mahabharata war, 18 Achaunis. And why? What is the significance of 18? Again, I went to my Kalari master, asked why the basic step is 18. Why can't it be 15 or 20? And he said, sorry, my young child, I don't have answer for this. But I was not ready to be satisfied like that. I kept on searching. Then when I reached to my age of 24, as usual, around the 30, 35, 40 years ago, anybody who is getting a degree will try to find a better job in Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
So I also went to Middle East. I was in Sultanate of Oman,
Mm-hmm.
Muscat.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started teaching Kalari and yoga there little. But there I came to know people were having higher expectations with yoga. I was teaching only the basic asanas and pranayamas which I learned in Kalari. Because Kalari Poet evolved from basically yogis, from yogis.
Yeah.
So the foundation is yoga. So we have to do Surya Namaskars and all other asanas, Simhasana, Bhadrasana, many things we have to do. So I was using it and I was a good physiotherapist, traditional Kalari Marma therapist, as a Kalari master. But there, I was taken to the higher, planes of life, material planes.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, what is introduced in the world will be coming to Oman because it's a rich country and well-developed country. So once I was carried away with this modern amenities and modern comforts, there also I got confused. Because being a Kalari master, I was taken to the higher levels of the society for treating them. Then I came across the reality of life. There I experienced money is not the last answer. Money cannot give you satisfaction. When I went through all these experiences, people's problems, jealousy, anger, then unhealthy competition, many things confused me. I was there to make money. Then I was so disappointed by seeing the problems of immensely rich people. Then again I got confused. What is next? If I make money like this and become like these people, disappointed and disturbed, what is the use of making money? So these questions really made me restless. On top of that, I was practicing everything because got enough money, went for high-level health clubs. As you know, going for a tennis match, coming back, having a chilled beer, eating like that. So it's like high-fi life. I developed some kind of physical uneasiness, and I became allergic with AC, air condition. I was a bit nervous.
Yeah.
Yes. So when I was so scared to get in a car because in Middle East it's very hot. When we switch on the AC, a small itching will come. Immediately the whole body will be swollen. And I was advised to go for some steroids. Then I came to know how I am going to destroy my system. There also I was not ready to be defeated. Because I don't want, if body falls, what is next? Then I became more serious. Then I started reading this Indian philosophical things, yoga books, and I wanted to know exactly what the real message is coming from Indian tradition. Then after 1 year of my self-preparation, I decided to give up material life because masters taught us to experience this by renouncing things. What is nature is giving you as a temptation. If you have the caliber to say, hey, nature, don't try to tempt me. I don't want this. I am not going to eat. I'm not going to drink. Even I'm not going to breathe. That renunciation against the nature will be the basic quality or qualification for higher level yoga. That is what is called parityaga. When you renounce completely, you will become a tyagi. Tyagi can immediately convert himself into yogi. When I learned this, then I left Oman as a wandering monk.
So you left your life in Oman, your luxurious life at 24.
Everything.
At 24,
yes.
because you
yes.
started
Everything
reading. So this is how many months after you started exploring? So after you started exploring, how many months did you wait before you renounced?
I went to Oman in 89 and I left Oman in 93.
And you enjoyed that life for 5 years?
Yes.
And then
It's
90,
almost 4 years.
4 years. And when did you
Yes.
get your Shita Pitta, the experience of the skin rash? When did
In 93.
oh,
93 March, I felt I cannot continue like this. I
and
took the
then
decision.
that's March. And then when did you leave, Guruji?
I left in November. 93 November, I left Oman.
6 months only.
Yes.
You made this big decision. Wow. Wow.
When I came back to Kerala, I went to my mother first. That time my father passed away.
I'm sorry to hear.
Then I told my mother that I am going to be away from home for 1 year. Don't inquire about me. I was not married that time. There was no commitment, nothing. So I wore my saffron myself and took my cloth back and left even my home. Started traveling as a wandering monk in search of a guru because I wanted to learn the real yoga, not from books, not from claims, not from show-offs, real yoga. I want to see death or I want to see God. If there is a God, I want to see God. If there is death, I want to know what is after death. Because it is clearly said in the text, after death there is immortality. You can conquer death. So I traveled all over India for 9 months
Guruji.
as a wandering monk.
So you were a
Then-
modern day boy. You were a modern day boy with all life successes, and you knew you could achieve whatever you wanted because you had the willpower and the determination.
Yes.
Physically, materially, you had what everybody aspires for. You had it.
Yes.
And
Everything
in
I
6
had.
months, and in 6 months, you said, "I'm going to leave this," and you didn't even do a soft.
Your sound is breaking.
Yeah, sorry, Guruji, somebody called. I just cut the phone. I'm actually moving homes today, so people keep calling me, but I just canceled the calls. So, Guruji, in 6 months, you didn't even do a soft start. You just went all out.
Yeah, within 6 months, I took the decision. So after from 89 to 93 March, up to 93, I was fine. Going through all this achievements and money, name, everything was there. But when the problem came, very unbearable problem with this allergy, then from March, I started thinking I have to leave. So I kept on reading. I, cancelled almost all my classes, and I spent more time in my room. I read as much as possible. Then within 6 months, I decided that yes, I am leaving Oman. I left the apartment there. I left a car there. I left everything over there. Just left. Then after I reached India, getting permission from my mother, I went towards north. Not only north, wherever I came to know a master is there, I used to go. Tirunamala, Vajreshwari, then Amandabu, then Himalayas. So like that, I kept on moving. Then whenever I used to see a master, I used to go down and ask, Guruji, is there a God? And they say, yeah, God is there. Have you seen him, sir? That was my question. I was very straight. Then they say God is, I don't want explanation. My question is whether you have seen God or not. Then many people said many things. So I left the place. Finally, when I reached to Swami Shivajyoti Dharmananda from Siddha Yoga tradition, I just bowed down to him. I asked the same question. Guruji, is there a God? He said, yes, God is there. Have you seen him? First time I heard the answer, yes, I see him. I see God as you. That's all. Very simple. Then I asked him, yes, then is there any possibility for me to learn that? He said, you want to see God? I said, yes. Okay, then sit there. There he made me sit. Then I was not ready to accept it. I had a skeptical mind. Because I was
Intellectual mind. Intellectual mind, yes.
So I left that place. Then 11 times I visited with different questions. I came to know my irritation, irritative mode or comforting mode, nothing was affecting on him. because he was having that balance. There I decided and I became a disciple for him. I surrendered to him. Then after around 3 months of basic practices, he initiated me in Siddha Mahayoga order with the Sri Vidya Mula Mantra and Siddha Maha Mantra. After the initiation, he said, now my work is over, leave the place. He was not allowing anybody to be there as a student because he was enjoying his loneliness. That was the real sage. So I appreciate, I decided, yes, this is the real state of freedom because nothing was affecting him. Even many people used to come for different problems like mental problems, physical diseases, cancer, then arthritis, many things. He used to give something as medicine and people were getting the benefit. Even some well-known doctors started blaming him also, like he is giving some fake medicines. But from my experience, I saw people were having good relief and they were so happy. So these things I verified carefully. Then I wanted to become like him. So I left again that place. I went to a forest. Yes. I stayed in a forest near a tribal settlement in the dense forest, in a like lonely life.
So this is how many months? So November you left the house. Sorry, Guruji. November you left the house. And when did you reach the forest?
November I left Oman.
Oh, November you left Oman. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Then I came back to India. Then after December, around November, December, I was staying with my mother. Then I left that home also. January. 9 months ago, yes. Yeah. It's then 94 last, I stopped my traveling as a wandering monk because I found Dhamman Resort. In 94, December, I think December or 95 beginning, I was initiated. That time I was not very keen on noting things because I even through my black belt, I threw my certificates. It's like, see, if you are attached with something, you are not going to succeed. That was my mind, really. So I fully renounced. Even my family, I told my mother, don't inquire about me because you have 7 children, but now you think that you have only 6. One is God. My frame was like that. Then 94 last, or I think 95 beginning, I went to forest. Around 2.5 years, I stayed there.
2.5 years.
Yes.
Guruji, I'm mind blown.
But really, I was in search of my death because I didn't want to be defeated. I couldn't tolerate a defeat either from a person or from nature. So I wanted to go beyond. There I held my breath. Around 12 hours a day, I used to meditate because there is nothing else to do. Meditate, hold the breath and observe yourself, and you become tired, sleep. Then you get up, you're getting bored. Always I keep one bundle of books wherever I go. Keep reading by hearting it. Again meditate, sleep. And if you're hungry, search for something. You will get something. That's all. Food is not for taste. If you come to know that food is for survival, everything is possible for you.
So what did you eat, Guruji?
Many things. Fruits, roots, leaves.
You ate from the jungle. So there was no...
Yes.
So you didn't go for just to get bhiksha, but you just ate from the food.
No. I was not ready to go even for bhiksha. I didn't want to be a dependent on anything. I wanted to know the exact freedom. If you are capable of challenging nature, Mother Nature is I'm sorry to use the word, it's a crazy lady. Mother Nature. If you are timid, you are lost. But if you are courageous and little bit naughty to mother, the mother will take you. And she will provide whatever you want. That is my experience.
So you have to be a rebellious, mischievous child, but the mother will
Yes.
still love you. But you tease
Yes.
the mother, you test
Yes.
the mother, you push the
Yes.
mother, and the mother will still give you because it's the mother.
Of course. You have the right, you have 100% right to challenge your mother because you are a child. So that is what I did. One day I told her that very clearly. Either you show me my secret, otherwise you take me back. I held my breath. Unless you provide the result for my question, answer for my question, I am not going to breathe anymore. I held the breath. I felt my temples in this area, two places, like bubbles. I was feeling that it is going to explode, but I didn't leave my Kumbhaga. There, that was the first time I saw Ganesha. How your Muladharastu Brahmarandrapadiyandam Sushubna. It is clearly written in the book. But when I held my breath beyond certain limit as a first gift, mother told that, okay, child, don't kill yourself. Take this chocolate. So that is what I got, the first revelation, first darshan, that was Ganesha. I was not seeing Ganesha, but I was transforming myself into that.
Experienced Ganesha.
Yes. So from Muladhara to Sahasrara, I saw the golden ring as a trunk. Then Parashakti is moving towards Parashiva, and from Parashiva Sahasrara, it is flowing back. When I experienced that, I felt, because of the heavy, rigid Jaladhara Bandhana, my ears were pulled down. My chin was jammed with this bone, and my belly was slightly out. Then I came to know what is Lambodara. Then what is this, long ears, and what is the, broken tusk. So everything is revealed from within. These are all symbols for explaining a real experience. Earlier, people experienced this one and they symbolized many things and they wrote. Then asked people, normal people, to worship. Slowly the worships will advance itself into an inner search, which is leading to meditation. So like this, first experience I got, I was so happy. Around 1 week, I couldn't do anything because I was so tired.
The
I
child
slept
was
only.
happy with the first chocolate.
It's like a naughty child. Child was crying for something. Mother gave a toy and he was engaged with that. And when he lost interest on that, he threw away that. Again, started crying for another one. So I got answers for all my questions. Then later I came to know, even I was asking to my mother nature, but later I came to know there is no difference between myself and Parashakti. When it's a cosmic identity is there, I label. When mind is active, I label it Parashakti. When mind dissolves, I am not there. Then who else is remaining?
Can you say that again, Guruji? I didn't understand that last part. When the mind is active, you call it Parashakti.
Yeah, because dualism is there.
Yes,
I see Parashakti.
Yeah.
That is Dvaita.
Yeah.
That time you are not in meditative mode.
Yeah.
But when you are in meditative mode, you are Advaita. No two. You are not there.
Yep.
The who else is there?
Yeah. So you get dissolved. You dissolve. Your identity gets dissolved.
Yes. So I kept on asking, like this, and one day I was meditating. Then I felt something different. I looked here and there. I knew I was not having a body. Then I became aware. Yes, I was having a body. Where is it? I saw my body sitting a little bit down on the floor. I was looking from a higher level. That was my experience. So I was thinking, oh, my body is here. I was seeing my body as I see you. Then I was thinking, oh, if somebody comes and destroys the body, then I will not have body. That was my experience. But it was a fantastic experience. Then later I came to know I was body conscious. Then I rewinded my experiences. I said, yeah, it's enough, more than enough. I found it. That was the inner awareness. Then I left forest, went back to my home, and mother couldn't recognize me because all the beard after. But I decided to share this one to others because from that moment onwards, I don't know what is fear. I don't know what is anxiety. So it's an amazing experience. It's amazing, stability or living style. It's a plane of consciousness. So first I called my younger brother. So he was so happy seeing me back home because all these people thought that, they lost me because I left the house and I became a sage and usually people not come back. But I came back. So he was a wing commander in Indian Air Force that time. The poor guy, he was having always, acidity. High officers, always they become very, So he's 3 years younger than me. So I called him, come here. I will teach you a technique for controlling this acidity. He went for the military hospital, did the endoscopy for, verifying whether there is an ulcer or something. Everything was okay, but poor guy was always having this acidity. So I told him I will give you a breathing technique and have some leaves. So I became a real sage. So immediately this guy said, Anna means elder brother, you are crazy. Okay, you lost your life. I don't want to follow your medicine or your meditation because he was so scared. Then I called some of my friends. They were appreciating my presence, but they didn't want to listen me because they thought if they listen me, they will also become like me. There again I decided, no, why these people are so scared? Then I shaved my beard and everything and I changed my saffron. But again, before that, this saffron, I didn't want to give up. So I went to my master. Then I asked him, Master, now I want to be one with everybody, but I cannot give up my saffron because I feel that is my profession or something like that. Again, this master, he's entirely different. He was smiling at me and he asked me, you said, your Parashakti showed me Mahadeva, this one, Lord Ganesha, and you saw your body and you saw your death. And don't you know the meaning of saffron? Then I thought, I thought I knew everything. But a simple question, why do you wear saffron? I didn't have an answer. There again I came to know, even if you see the secret of your death, still questions remain. So then I touched his feet again. Guruji, please teach me why. You tell me. Then first time he was giving me an answer. Up to that moment, whatever I ask, he will say, I will show you the way to find it. But after this experience, when I asked a question, he said, saffron is the color of fire. And the same color is with earth. There is a particular quality of soil in South India which can be eaten. It's like a medicine. If you mix with a lemon and we make a paste and you can eat. Even the allopathic tablets you are eating, it's basically clay, refined clay. Clay can be eaten. Even children who are crawling age, they will also eat this.
Kharpar, even in Ayurveda we call it kharpar,
Yes. So when a person dies, usually what's happening in Indian tradition, there are two ways. Either you give the body back to earth, or you will give the body back to fire. Either cremation or burial. That's all. So when a person become aware that he is totally renounced. He doesn't want his body anymore. So he gave up the body. So he is prepared either to fire or to soil. Then he is not ready to eat. He is not ready to breathe. So he is like Avaduta. He is not conscious about the material life. There, Mother Nature will come. He will feed this person. Unless you reach that plane of consciousness, unless you are prepared to give your body up to fire or soil, you are not supposed to wear saffron. Then I said, I have my personal ideas. Then you are not supposed to wear saffron. And I said, thank you very much. See, now you think how many saffron wearing people are capable of wearing saffron. If you wear saffron, you are the property, as far as our tradition is concerned. If you wear saffron, you are an avaduta. That is the property of the public. Where you see a saffron, if a saffron wearing sage is coming, immediately the house will open for him. Then the whole family members will be waiting for his, comfort and all this. Everybody is ready to serve him. Even the saffron guy going to the palace, king will come and receive him. That was the status in traditional India for this people, because they were always in a higher consciousness, in a trance. If they say something, people will be waiting to write down. Like our Muthuswami Dikshidhar, Tyagaraja Swamigal, they were in that trance. Sometimes they feel something, they sing a song. Immediately people will write, and that is what is our traditional
Shruth Gyan, that becomes Shruth.
Yeah. So I came to know I was not ready to wear saffron, so I gave up saffron. Everything, all my sage attributes I left, outfits. Then I became a ordinary person. Then my brother was ready to listen me. My sisters came and they want to make me marry. Then I decided, yes, why should I went to forest? But it is not necessary to go to forest to understand this. I changed the style of practice. Then I started my exercise in the gymnasium. I took my body back. Then I wore a normal dress, got married. I started my business. Again, I went back to Oman. From Oman, I established in Amsterdam. Then we started a branch in Ethiopia. So again, everything was back to normal. Then in 2005, I think, I came back to India. Then slowly started something over here. Then in 2018, we started intimacy.
Guruji, that is such, I think it is actually the most powerful story of our times. It is. I could not help but think about Paramhansa Yogananda. I can't help but think about the autobiography of a yogi. Because this is the most powerful story of our times, Guruji. That you went and you achieved everything that a man wants. And you said what is beyond this. You experienced what was beyond this. And you said it's possible to be in the world and be beyond and continue to practice. And you realize...
See, one more thing. Let me interrupt little.
Yeah, please, Guruji, any day, any time.
This is not from me. Actually, it is clearly said in our traditional text. See, Veda Vyasa's son, Shuka Brahmarshi. Have you heard about him? Shuka?
No. Shuka.
Yeah. He is the son of Vyasa. There is a story in Bhagavata. So one day, Shuka approached his father because he became 18. So he was, when 18 years old boy, then he is not supposed to be at home. That was the tradition. So when he completed his 18 years, he approached his father, bowed down and said, Father, please let me know what I should do. Then Veda Vyasa said, I am not capable of teaching you further. Better you go to Mithilapuri, where Janaka Maharaja is there, Sita's father. So Shuka got confused.
Hmm.
Shuka was thinking, Vedavyasa must be knowing everything. And he is a pure sage living in the forest. And Janaka Maharaja is a Rajarshi. He is having all problems in the life. Being a king, he has to catch people, he should get the taxes, he should fight with enemies, and many, many things are there.
Hmm.
And Vedavyasa, my father is saying that go to Janaka and learn them. What is a contradiction? So he was thinking like that. Anyhow, father told him to go. Means if father said, the son should obey. So this one, Shuka Brahmarshi went to Mithila.
Mhm.
So master came to know. Janaka Maharaja is, he knew everything because he was a proper Rishi.
Hmm.
He knew Shuka was coming
Hmm.
and his intention was this. So he told the guards in the gate not to allow him enter in the palace for 3 days. So being Shuka Brahmarshi, very well established sage, Dhrida Chitta, stable mind. So he kept his right leg forward and the guard said, you are not permitted. He stood there 3 days without a movement. Then after 3 days, he was taken to this guest house, king's guest house. All facilities are there. There also this guy was thinking, this guy must be a fool. A sage needs some basic, simple things to meditate. So everything is provided. Anyhow, 3 days there also he spent. Then 7th day he was taken to the king. Then first question he asked. See, a king, that time, sages, students, pilgrims are not supposed to stop anywhere.
So can you say that again? Who are pilgrims?
Pilgrims, students, Vidyarthi, and sages. Sages, pilgrims, and students. These 3 categories should not be blocked anywhere.
Should not be blocked. They should always keep flowing and moving. Okay.
Yes. Only trading. You can see the borders where you have to collect the tax. Only traders are blocked. So why the sage is blocked in your gate?
Mm-hmm.
You're executing laws and you are violating it. Why? Then master said, or Janaka Maharaja said, you claim that you are a sage. Sage must be knowing Sarvam Khalyudam Brahma. Means everything should be Brahma. So you were saying that you were outside the palace. In Brahma, Brahma is everywhere. So you were inside the Brahma or outside the Brahma? That means Bheda Buddhi, dualism, has not fully vanished from you. That means you have not a right to claim that you are a sage. Then, second question. You were thinking that in the guest house you were getting many facilities. Why your mind was discriminating all these things? Egam sat vipra bahuda vadanti. Everything is molecules and derived from the ultimate energy. Why you have discrimination? That means your mind is still attached with possessions. You are not qualified enough to reach that level. Third question he asked. Being a king, how we can manage all these things? A king is sitting on a throne, simhasana. Asana means the seat. If he goes to forest also, he needs a kushasana, where he has to sit and meditate. So for Janaka Maharaja, whether it is simhasana or kushasana, both are asana. There is no Bheda Buddhi, no dualism. And he is not seeing people as enemies or friends. These are all manifestation of Brahma. This is called Nanatut Egatu. So he will see the unity in diversity. So this is what Vedavyasa wanted to teach his own son, Shuka Brahma. See the message? The message is deliberately delivered that be a king and have a sage's mind and live like a king. This is what Bhagavata says and Vedavyasa is saying through Bhagavata. So I didn't say that. I copied from, I understood from this Vedavyasa's language. So I live in the middle of everything, but I am not attached with anything. So I can deal with everything without a deviation or a vibration. This is what it calls Sthira Buddhi. Sthira Buddhi means the stable
steady mind.
intellect. Yes.
Yeah, steady mind.
That's all. Yeah. I think the time is okay.
It's okay, Guruji. They'll wait. The movers will wait. We have, so we were supposed to end at 10:45, but I'm going to do the whole hour. It's okay, Guruji. I can go on listening for hours. They'll wait. They're waiting outside. That's fine.
No, I don't want to take your time. Yeah.
No, Guruji. We are taking your time, not taking my time. And let the movers wait. So, Guruji, so basically what you're saying is that when Janaka conducted his kingdom and he did his duties as a king,
Yes.
this is exactly how you said last time, that even if he had to attack, it's like how a mother has to punish the child sometimes. Say yes, say no. The mother has to create safety and rules, but it's always with love because she knows that the child is her ansh, is her part.
Yeah.
So we can go on living life and doing what we don't have to get confused in the world. Oh, should I be in the world? Should I not be in the world? As long as we understand the non-dual nature, we can continue to engage in the world with that non-duality, just doing things what we understand as our own, scope of our own sphere of operation, or you can call it duty or dharma, whatever it feels natural to us. We can continue doing that and maintaining this non-duality.
Yes, you are 100% right. But the problem is, I cannot move my lips unless a universal permission is granted.
Yes.
Now I am talking to you. Actually, if nature is not permitting me, I cannot deliver even a word. I cannot blink my eye. Then what is the relevance of feeling that I did this? It's quite nonsense only.
It's so
feeling
funny.
that I do. No, nothing to worry. Everything is happening.
It happens.
Yes.
It happens. Guruji, everybody wants to know the significance of number 18. A lot of people have asked. I was so mesmerized that I forgot that question. I was so mesmerized by your conversation, but luckily people brought it up. So we have 2 minutes. If this is, because otherwise it will cut. Instagram will cut us off. Either we can pick this next time because there's a lot of questions, Guruji, even in my mind. We have to pick up from here. Either we pick it up next time about number 18 and let us all wonder for a week.
Yes. Good. This is the good quality of a seeker. So you keep asking, we must get answer.
Yes.
This 18, everything is representing our system. All these diversions are slowly coming back to aham, to ourselves. Our body is a creation of 5 elements. Bhumi, Jala, Agni, Vayu, Akash. These are the basic molecules, raw materials for making the body. Not only the body, all matter. Everything is created. Pancha Mahabhuta. When these molecules are combining each other, 5 molecules combine each other. Wherever 2 molecules come each other, there will be a flow of energy, which we call electricity.
Guruji, it might get disconnected. I just want you to know, if it gets disconnected, then we will reconnect or we will reconnect next week because it's the whole hour. But I don't have the heart to press. I don't have the heart to press. So
no problem.
Let's continue next time. Otherwise, it may not be saved, Guruji.
Okay. So, shall I continue?
Yeah, but it might get disconnected. Yeah.
No problem. But
Guruji, actually, I'm scared. What if it doesn't give me an option to save? I will remind you exactly where we were. We will pick it up next time because if it doesn't get saved, then others won't have access to this. And I know about thousands of people watch this each time. So it will start giving me a timer of 2 minutes, of 1 minute when it gives me. Yeah. I will disconnect it now, Guruji.
Yes.
Should I disconnect it now, Guruji?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
And you should be on the safe side.
Yes. So, Guruji, when it will give us 2 minute timer, I will tell you that it's given the 2 minute timer.
Fine.
So we can continue. So they get together and energy comes. Yeah.
Yes. So then when energy comes, it's called Pancha Prana. Pancha Bhutas will merge and Pancha Prana will be developed. So total 10. When